Hey Google, restart.
Hey everyone, Scott Innes, voice actor, Hollywood actor, movie star. Don't believe all that. I'm a legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby Dooby Doo, Scrappy Dappy Doo, Puppy Power, like and Shaggy too. And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast. It's coming at you right now.
Hey Google, stop. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Sullivan Project podcast, and I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. This is actually episode 26 now, so we're moving along. And some news we're going to have hopefully some more guests, celebrity guests, coming up here. If you haven't checked out, I actually have Samantha Smith, who played Mary Winchester from Supernatural. I have her on one of the podcasts. Sorry, I just got done vaping a little bit. Got to do that before you got to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Before you get on the podcast. But go check out the Sullivan Project podcast on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78. It's on TikTok, Harold Sullivan 78, and Facebook, Harold Sullivan period 35. Also, I have some paranormal videos, super, I was about to say fan films on there. Some of them are superheroes though. All different kinds of stuff on all three platforms. And you can get a hold of me on message. And if you want to be a guest on the show, or if you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know. Let me know. Contact me. We have a number here. It's 724 513 1472. And that is the Sullivan Project podcast number. And I am accessible. Love and light only, though. No games. And if you need someone just to talk to, hit me up. And you can message me on Facebook Messenger. I am disabled and became blind recently, but I can do I got technology to answer with my voice and whatnot, or message and stuff. So this week we're going to talk about Michael Jordan, the greatest ever to GOAT. And I got a couple other things, some recipes, some poor man recipes. I had my own apartment a few times, and I had caregivers that came in and out to take care of me, and I came up with recipes. I used to enjoy cooking, and with help, of course, figure out on a low budget, how to, just like when I did movies and fan films and props, just a couple bucks, and how can you cook, especially when you live alone, you can't really make big meals because there's a lot left. So you're eating like sandwiches and TV dinners. So I got some ideas about that there. Hey Google, what time is it?
1:59.
Okay. That's the way I tell time in the last year and a half or so. Just gotta ask to Google. Thank God for technology. I mean, it makes most people lazy, but for someone who's disabled or whatever, I can't move my hands really or anything. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm 44 now. I can't. I'm getting old. Jesus, about to be 45 in December. Thank the glory of God if I make it. Thank glory to God I make it that long. But yeah, Michael Jordan the goat. Let me talk about a couple other things though. I just got the Soda Stream, so it's been around a while. It's a device that makes pop at home, soda pop. So for $100, you can get their cheapest model. You can carry this thing around anywhere. It doesn't need batteries. Doesn't need plugged in. It's just CO2, and then you put your flavoring. And I'll give you the directions right here very easily. So you get this machine, okay? You can buy the extra CO2s for either $30 or 15 if you send in your empties. So they have a deal you can set up. You send back your empties, they'll send you a new one for half price. Because that's what's the most expensive part. But the machine's 100, and then the drops, the flavorings are only $6 each, and they make a good bit. So I actually purchased cola and a Mountain Dew type. It's called like Mountain Mist or something, and it's pretty good. I was impressed actually. So all you do is they have 1 liter bottles, or it's a little bit smaller bottles you can purchase, but the 1 liter bottles are reusable for a few years, and they seal real good, so you can keep the soda in the fridge for a few days. It won't go flat. So they're 1 liter bottles you get. All right, So you get a 1 liter bottle, you fill it with water, cold water up to there's a line on the bottle. You put it into the machine. You squirt the CO2 in it 3 or 4 or 5 times. The bubbles will come out. You'll see it. And and then you just take your drop. You either take bubbly drops or There's 3 to 4 different types of flavoring they have. So the cola types come in a syrup, and all you do is put there's a cap on the syrup, and you can do half a cap for normal or a full cap for really sweet. I did 3 quarters and it was decent for me. My sister tried it and didn't like it. To me, the cola tastes like it tastes between Coke and RC, like a Coke RC type, not really Pepsi. So, but it's good. And then they have bubbly drops, which are more like fruit flavors and stuff. I got a mango and I got a triple berry. And those you just put in either 3 quarters of a spoon. I put more like a full spoon because I want mine to taste, to have a good taste. So my review on that product is pretty good. It's Soda Stream. Check it out online. Also, a couple days ago, I talked to Dan. I'm trying to get a hold of him to be on another podcast. And I had some dreams, okay? So one night I had dreams. It was really weird. I was in bed and my bed was on fire. Then later on, the night I had a dream to where there was someone nude, a woman who was larger, and she was suffocating somebody under a sheet. I don't know what this meant. Maybe it's me. I feel like I'm being trapped or suffocated lately, or maybe I took the wrong intention, but I don't know what the fire meant. But anyway, the night after that, I jumped to being in McDonald's and this and that, and I wasn't getting served. Nobody would give me any food, and I just was really. I went to a couple different ones, and I was getting depressed and sad in the dream, mind you, and then and the people were ignoring me. Then I just started singing "Handicap Lives Matter" because I'm handicapped. Just in the dream, and people started cheering with me and singing, and then finally I got some fries, French fries from McDonald's, and I woke up. And they were really good, right? So then the next day I talked to Dan, and I always ask Dan, and I say, hey Dan, if you jump to me or I jump to you or anything, or you have any weird dreams, tell me, because I want to know. Because you can go into people's dreams, they can come into yours. Like when I'm dreaming, I don't know if these are people or if I'm making the people up, because these could be real people that could be uh, experienced and know how to travel in dreams and come in my dreams. So I don't know whether I'm dreaming, whether I'm past living, whether I'm actually astral projecting, and I need help with all this. Again, contact the show. I have psychic stuff kicking in more and more since I lost my sight. Call me 724-513-1472. No jokes. Or hit up the show, the Sullivan Project podcast on Facebook, Harold Sullivan period 35, and YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78, TikTok Harold Sullivan 78. Mind you, I'm blind, so the comments may be read to me, or it'd be easier to message or call me. So yeah, it was weird. But anyway, I talked to Dan about this, and he says about that same time that night he was making French fries. And I'm like, wow, okay. And the last time I went to McDonald's was with Dan. If you go back a few months back, we talked about how we went to McDonald's, and the pandemic was going right at the beginning, and I couldn't get food to go in, or I couldn't get in because they wouldn't let people in, and I had to go through the drive-through in the wheelchair. And Dan kept going to the window and asking them, and it was cold out and raining. Finally, they let us in, and we got to eat. And so I don't know that somehow that ties together, but it's just odd. You know what I'm saying? Here's another recipe I got here. We might as well say, and this is for pot brownies. Never had them until just now. My whole life, I tried pot cookies before. God rest his soul, Jimmy made some muffins and cookies. They were the best stuff I ever ate in my life before, and they still are. Because when you have certain memories of people, they're just like that's gonna be the best. Like the first apple pie I tasted was the best. The first weed cookies I tasted. Never had the brownies, and I can't imagine any kind of brownies tasting better. But all you gotta do is get that. I don't know what it's called, but it comes with the icing pack in there. I got caramel. It's chocolate brown, or it's brownie caramel. And you do one pan, okay? I took about 9 grams, which it takes a lot. So you gotta take a good bit of bud. This is just good, about 30% THC, which is really, really good. High. Grind it up as fine as possible. Do your temperature 340 to 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Grind up the wheat, put it in there, and that's all you do is cook it. Boom, you're done. I even froze some because I ain't gonna eat a whole 12 brownies at once. Got nobody else to eat any either, so it's just me eating them. But they do good. One for me, one in the morning, and all day you're about decent. So that's a treat once in a while. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Malcolm SodaStream brownie sundae French fries.
Okay. Hey
Second,
Google,
Father
stop.
go-
So sudden death. That's a hockey movie. A couple podcasts ago, go check them out. I talked about hockey movies, and I don't know how I didn't mention Jean Claude Van Damme playing on the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Chicago Blackhawks, Game 7. And it was a movie called Sudden Death, and they filmed it in Pittsburgh. And, there was a lot of real hockey players in there, but spoilers, Yager is not the real Yager. Doesn't even have long hair. It just he goes, you don't you don't talk to him, but you see him on the ice skating back and forth with his name and number. And there's a few mistakes, but the best part is Mike Lang and Paul Steigerwald, the Penguins announcers at that time, and for I don't know how long, 30 or 40 years it seemed like, together, commentating it like a real game going on Game 7, while these people had took over uh, the arena, and Van Dam was trying to save people. Sudden death. It's hockey. And then speaking of that, Malkin, the other day, like I've been saying all season, turned it over like 2 or 3 times, and we got scored on and lost the game again. I mean, this is just ridiculous. By the time I'm airing this, that happened right before the All Star game, so you'll know what I'm saying with that as far as that goes. And then see, I mentioned TV dads the other day, like best TV dads. So there was a Father Knows Best one. I think I said that. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Malcolm
Hey
SodaStream
Google,
brownie
delete the
sun-
first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
I
This is how
remember
I
you told me.
take notes.
Father goes best all no family modern family my street ready for
Okay.
Freddy.
Father Knows Best. All in the Family with Archie Bunker, of course, like a Carol Connor, one of the best dads, right? Uh, what else there? Two songs, Ready for Freddy, which the Fat Boys people don't remember probably, and one of Will Smith's first songs, if not his ever first song, was Nightmare on My Street. Nightmare on My Street, and it was about Freddy Krueger also. So go check that out, Will Smith. People forgot how talented he was, and he started off in music. Him and DJ Fresh Prince. And hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
I remember you told me.
See.
Father goes best all no family modern family my street ready for Freddy.
Okay. Hey Google, stop. And Modern Family, also another show about with a good TV dad, right? So, hey Google, what time is it?
It's 2:10 p.m.
Okay, so we got a couple more minutes here. And then, yeah. So let me give you another recipe here. And then we'll talk about Michael Jordan, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. No comparing about LeBron and all that other crap. And I don't usually talk about all that, but I'm going to get into it about Jordan here. Because I had so many years experience watching him. He was my team. But anyway, yeah, another recipe here. That canned chicken, which I didn't even know they had. Go check it out at the dollar stores, whatever, Dollar Generals. They have canned white meat chicken. It's really good. It's all white meat, different sizes. So this is chicken pot pie. Get like a 9 by 9, or you could do 12 by 12. 9 by 9 is enough for a few days. You could even save it if you're one person. It could be enough for a small meal too, or a small family meal. But get that canned chicken. 1 can of that white meat chicken. You could get a can or two of them sliced potatoes. That they have potatoes that have in the vegetable canned vegetable aisle. You could boil them first. It's always better to boil your potatoes before you fry them or any of that stuff. Even microwave them. You could put them in the microwave. You could bake potatoes in the microwave. Here's another trick: wrapped baked potato. You could wrap a potato in tinfoil. Put holes in it first, or not tinfoil, saran wrap. Put it in the microwave for a couple minutes. It'll bake. But anyway, boil your potatoes or don't boil them. So you put those get a can or two of the potatoes, a can of that white meat chicken, a big can of it, and then vegetables. You got a can or two of corn, peas. It just is depending on how much you want in there. All right, carrots, whatever. The mixed vegetables works good because you get it all mixed in there. And then cream of chicken soup. Okay, and you add milk. I believe you add milk to that. That's what I would do a little, just not much though. Get a large can of that, and you put that in as much as you want. You could do the whole can. Depends on how runny and thick you want it. And then you do. I used to like to do crescent roll instead of biscuit. You take crescent rolls and just roll it out flat. Leave the triangles close together as you can. It makes a thinner layer of flake, and then you put that on top. Uh, and then you just bake that bad boy for 350 or whatever for 10 or not 10 uh, you bake it 10 15 minutes after you put on the crust, but you got to bake it before that. I'd say 30 minutes at least, to check it out and see how thick it's getting, then put on your crust. And you have to do the crust. You don't want it to be soggy underneath the bottom, so I'd say 45 minutes altogether. So that's poor man's chicken pot pie. And share that. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. It only cost a couple bucks to do all that too, to make all that. Way cheaper than making giant pot pies for a whole family and all that. And some of that, if you get the food bank, you could get that for free. Because I used to do that. Trying to make meals out of what I got from the food bank, you know. And like I said, you could even freeze pieces if you wanted. So, let me say a couple Sullyisms here. And then I'm going to go into Michael Jordan. So, I want you to believe in you. That's just, it's something simple. Say that a few times a day. Tell yourself things, because what you hear becomes your reality, and what's around you, what you see, and what people tell you over and over. So if you tell yourself good things over and over again, and you'll believe that. And I'm sure you hear a lot of bad, and you need to make up for that. It takes 1,000 goods to make up for one bad that's happened to you. That's how tough it is. Because when you start feeling good, boom, something slams on you. So Michael Jordan, yeah, I used to have WGN. We're here in the Pittsburgh area. We don't have a hockey team, or we don't have a basketball team in Pittsburgh. Philly was the closest one, so I'd say early '90s on up to Jordan's retirement, I was the biggest Bulls fan. I watched most of his games on WGN. I mean, that 72-10 season, I think I watched every game. And they were down by 25 points in games I saw, and Jordan led the Bulls back. That last game when he freaking poked the ball, right, stole it, went down, and shot the game-winning shot. I mean, Jordan scored like 4 or 5 points in the last couple of seconds. He was just great. He came back later, and he still scored 50 points when he was old and couldn't even get off the ground anymore, and tried to lead a team, which it was a lot for him, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think of him as a wizard, he's a bull. But anyway, 72-10 was the record. He won 6 out of 8 titles, but that was because he retired for 2 years. He could have won 8 straight, at least 7 or 8. His father had got killed in the middle, and he went and played baseball, tried that. Why not? And Space Jam is one of my favorite movies, and that's actually a lot of that happened in real life for Jordan, except for the cartoon part, of course. But the rest of it was pretty much, based on his true story. Him out there shooting all the time, his dad encouraging him. Baseball was his first true sport. He was pretty good at it. He was just short, and then too short for basketball. Then he grew and played, and he loved basketball more. And he hit the game-winning shot in college. Jesus. His second year, he only played a couple of games because he broke his ankle. And Jordan led the league in points. He led all-time 31 and a half when he retired per game. LeBron James is freaking sorry. He lost like 8 times in the finals. Jordan was he was undefeated. I believe he had 6 MVPs in the finals and 5 MVPs, because they gave Karl Malone one year, and I don't know, they shouldn't have just gave it to him. Jordan was the best, and one year Karl Malone got it, the MVP in the regular season. So, and Jordan was he had the air. He was called his airness. He had like 3 or 4 second air time. So if you go watch the videos of him dunking, looks like it's slow mo. That's not slow mo. He could go up in the air and turn and do different things. Spread his legs, lift his arms up, put one arm behind his. I mean, he could just do all that, boom, and then slam it, and it would like pick up in real time. It was like you're watching slow mo. The greatest of all time. He's the greatest shooter too. I don't care about these new people that are 20, 30 years old scoring all these points now. When Jordan played, he got beat up. He had to become physical. He had to change his game a few times. He had to go and do what he had to do to win and lead people. You know, and go check out that the Last Dance documentary if you can find that about Michael Jordan. It's one of the greatest documentaries of all time. So this is Harold Sullivan about to go, and I want you to remember, be the light, and love is a choice, and so is to hate.